and I can. That's a win. We are walking. We're currently at the netball courts. If you watch my videos, you'll know where that is. I spent a half hour here trying to score the other day, and I spent like 10 minutes dunking the day before. Let me put some shades on so I'm not like squinting at you constantly. Sorry guys, we'll keep moving in just a sec. Today's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. If you're watching this in the backlog, see what day it was uploaded. It's March 13th. I was born in 91, which makes me 33 today. I figured I would jump on, stream a bit. I've got, like I keep saying, I've got some reaction videos I want to do. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to do for the channel. It's about time management though, you know, time management and getting all that sorted. The sun's behind us at the moment, so the angle's probably horrible, the lighting's probably horrible, but that's all right. We'll turn around again in a second. I actually genuinely love it here. I'm at Tarmore Sporting Complex. Whole bunch of netball courts. There's a cricket field, long jump. They're building a new cricket field as well. Nice sheds. It's got a defib here as well, which is like responsible community management. I like it. But yeah, I wanted to have a chat, jump on live, you know, because I'm focusing on YouTube at the moment from a professional standpoint. Like the income that my old reaction videos get me is significant now, and so, you know, it's starting to look like I could do this as my job, full time. And like that's the goal, is once the kids are grown, never having to work again. I don't want to work again. I don't ever want to have a job ever again. I'm done now. I'm 33. I haven't had a job since my mid-20s. But I wasn't a bum by any means. Like, I was a C-suite executive at an insurance company. I had 96 people reporting to me when I quit. Had a bit of a fucking mental breakdown, as they call them, and whatnot. Just couldn't fucking hack the lifestyle. It wasn't sustainable for me, you know what I mean? And so I'm much happier now, much more grateful. I mean, at the time I pivoted into a whole new lifestyle, started working in childcare, like did a whole new thing, and did that for a while, and then decided I didn't like that either. Moved to America, started living the life as an actor and a writer, predominantly, writing, copywriting, and all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, got married, had kids, got divorced, came back to Australia with my kids, and here we are. And so I'm like, I'm in Australia, where I am right now, Australia, you know, obviously, we have amazing parenting policies and amazing social safety nets that we just don't have in America. And those social safety nets for my children are going to mean that, like, literally I'll have to work for the next, basically 10 years, maybe more, while they're children, and then when they're teenagers, it eases up a bit, you know what I mean? Like, it relents, the support is not there as much, because they're starting to get to the point where they can look after themselves, you know what I mean? Which makes sense. But, yeah, so I got about a decade, which is, you know, not a lot of pressure by any means. It's fucking, you know, if I can't build a following in 10 fucking years, I never would have. Like, I never would have been able to, you know what I mean? Like, there's no pressure to do it. So that's what makes it get done easier, if that makes sense, you know? But yeah, so that's the goal, is to make this a full-time thing where I'm getting enough of an income to justify it being a full-time thing. At the moment, with the support from the government and the child support from my ex-wife and YouTube, I live quite comfortably. We don't want for anything. We don't, you know, have to save up for stuff if we want it and whatnot, unless the thing is like a big ticket purchase, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't just go and tap my FPOS card for a fucking car or something, you know? But, like, in terms of groceries and toys or, like, events during the week and stuff, like, we never want for anything. We're living comfortably in an area that's a walkable town with lots of different activities, lots of different things to do, and it's just like, things are chill. I'm content. Things are great in that sense. So long story short, this is why we're on the live stream, is because if I can get, 1 or 2 live streams a week, get some maybe 4 or 5 videos, whether they be reaction videos or history videos or something like that. Hey, get your leg off the wheel, bud. Give me a solid. Say hi to YouTube. Pick your foot up for me. Lean back. Lean back. Let's fix your hat. You too. Good stuff, boys. Couple more laps and then we'll go home, alright? Daddy's just getting his fitness in. But yeah, like it's, even when I haven't got a specific rant to rant about, I'm going to be trying to do at least 1 or 2 live streams a week. Just vlogging my life, treating you guys like a free therapist. And I'm going to try and get 3 or 4 videos, whether they be history uploads or reaction videos, as well as staying consistent on my shorts. I've been doing well getting at least 1 short up per day, mostly 2 or 3 each day, which is, increasing the reach of my channel. But you guys don't care about any of that. Like, if you're watching this, you already like my channel. You don't need to hear me talking about what I'm going to do with the channel. I don't know. I just, I feel very gracious. No, that's something else. Grateful. You know what I'm saying. I feel very happy to be at this point in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I went through a lot of nonsense. I went through a lot of hard stuff in my life, like anyone does, you know what I mean? Like, hard stuff is... No one has a monopoly on fucking, like, issues, Odin's son, g'day. G'day, mate. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for letting me know you're here. Feel free to let me know if you can't hear me all that well as well. Let me know in the comments. How's things going with you? I was just saying, like, I'm very happy. I just dropped my shades. I'm very happy at the minute. Today's my 33rd birthday. And I reckon 33 is... I'm going to keep those off, actually. Too bad if you see me squinting. I would like to see me squinting. Like, I know that 33 is going to be my best year. You know what I mean? Like, 32 was my best year. The last 12 months were phenomenal. I came home, brought my kids home. You know what I mean? Like, things are fantastic at the moment. And I don't really see how they could be anything other than fantastic moving forward, So I'm very happy. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Thank you. Like, things are really good at the minute, and I feel like I can leverage that positivity and those good vibes that I'm currently bouncing along with into more positivity for the community and the world and stuff as well, Like, I've got a short that I'm going to upload later that is, like, showing off a New South Wales police car from where I'm at the moment, because I had a short go viral years ago now, year 2, maybe 3 years ago now, that was a cop car in Niagara Falls that looked like it was a fucking, Gestapo vehicle or something. Like, it was black on black with a mirage that... Like, you didn't know it was a police vehicle. I mean, unless you know what to look for. The antennas stick out like a fucking sore thumb. But, like, it was an unmarked police vehicle until you were standing parallel with it and a meter from it. And then, like a fucking mirage in the desert, the logo turns up on the side of the car. You take one more step and it disappears again. And so I went, semi-viral. I think I had like 10,000 fucking views on that short or something. So this morning, while I was at the petrol station on our walk, I saw a New South Wales police car. Did you just drop something, bud? I can't see anything, but you're like leaning like you dropped it. No? Do me a favour, bud. Lean back. It's harder to push when you're doing that. Alright? It was funny though, the cop was not in it. He was getting petrol or fuel at the station, you know what I mean? And so I filmed all around his car, and then I walked in and he was like, that was a bit sus. And I was like, yeah, sorry about that. And I explained the story, and then he subscribed to my channel. So I got to get better at, like, telling people in person that that's what I do and how I do things and whatnot as well, I feel like of my 11.5 thousand subscribers, maybe 0.01 of them are people I know in fucking person, you know, like, so, which is good though, like, I enjoy that as well, because I can say some fucking hot takes, say some stuff that, like, people that I know would get annoyed with me for, but I don't have to deal with the annoyance. I can just turn my fucking notifications off, and then I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, I said what I said. But, yeah, it's a balance, you know what I mean? Let me read some comments. G'day there, Mr. Squid. Hey, Ian, how you doing, boss? Happy birthday, it's my daughter's 15th birthday today. Oh, that's awesome, cool. Well done, Odin. We had Odin's son, we have a matchy birthday. I was going to say that, don't look like New York behind you, lol. Yeah, mine too, 13th must be a popular day. Happy birthday, Ian, that's so cool. Oh yeah, it's only the 12th year. Yeah, so that's the thing. We are in Australia. That's like we celebrate 2 birthdays in our family. Like, my ex-wife sent me a message saying happy Australian birthday, and tomorrow she'll send me one saying happy American birthday. We've been doing that for years, that sort of thing. And we have a good relationship, you know, my ex and I. It's, I mean, we have to, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have my kids on the other side of the planet without having a fantastic relationship with their mother, you know what I mean? Like, that's, I mean, or a horrible one. Those are the only 2 options, I guess, aren't they, you know? Like, she was either going to be a reasonable person and understanding and want what was best for the boys, which is them being here, without a doubt, you know what I mean? Like, the services they have access to, as well as the social safety nets and all that sort of stuff. Like, Australia is, like, it's not offensive to say this, and if you're an American that gets offended, talk to your congressman, don't bitch at me, but it's like, it's objectively a better place to raise children, Australia. It's safer, there are more safety nets, etc, etc. And so when our grocery store was shot up by a white supremacist in Buffalo, my ex-wife said, this is fucking crazy, man. Like, you know, politics aside, you could take the kids to Australia where none of this shit happens, you know. And again, not making a moral judgment either way. Like, I'm not saying this country is better than that country or anything like that. But it is, like, an objective fact that no one's shooting up fucking grocery stores in this country. Or schools, but that's another conversation. And, like, you know, they were always going to go to school here. My kids, even when we were married and happy and living life in America and whatnot. Oh, you dropped your car, buddy. Mr. the King. Mr. the King. Now move your foot off there, please, bud. Thank you. Yeah, I have to stop to get your car, dude. Like, they were always going to go to school in Australia. Not just because of school shootings, you know, like, that was a factor. We took my ex-wife's daughter, like my old stepdaughter, into school for the first time, like kindergarten and whatnot. And they had, you know, signs on the wall for what to do in the event of a school shooter. And within the first week, she was doing active shooter drills, like 5 years old, doing active shooter drills at school. And it was gross. And so the conversation, you know, the agreement between all of us was always that the boys, my children, would go to school in my home state of Australia, where, you know, there's much less risk of that sort of thing happening, and they don't have to deal with the drills and the potential for it to happen, even if it doesn't, you know what I mean? So that was always the plan, was them being educated in Australia. But it wasn't even just about gun laws, you know? Like, America could have changed their gun laws and schools could have been exactly the same from a gun perspective, and my kids still would have gone to school in Australia. New South Wales specifically, my home state, because my mum wrote the syllabus. My mum works for the New South Wales Education Standard Authority, which is a mouthful of fucking, like, acronyms and shit, but basically it's just the Board of Education, you know what I mean? Like, they're the authority that confirms whether the states are living up to the federal fucking requirements, and determining what those federal requirements are as they change, as time shifts and all that sort of stuff. Like, my mother is a very, very important, very significant, higher echelon member of the school system here in my home state. And so regardless of all the gun control stuff, my kids were always going to go to school here because, you know, if there's a chance that they can get a leg up as a result of nepotism, like she's so high up that's impossible, you know what I mean? Like there's no one in the schools that would even know who she is because she's so far removed from them in like white collar job now. But it's like there's not a student in the state that she doesn't affect. We used to tell this, like she used to tell this story, or a fable really, about this beach. Fucking massive beach, huge beach. Like you just sand further than you can see in either direction. Starfish everywhere. Dude, what are you doing? Hey, I'll get back to the starfish in a sec. Hey, lean back, dude. What are you doing? Put your arm in the arm thing. Don't take it out. This one too, switch hands. Thank you. Now, tuck your elbow in. There we go. Bing bapple. Well done. You want to have a snooze, dude? I'll lean you back. How's that sound? Yep. Here, lean back. There you go. Yeah, so Starfish Beach, right? There's a massive beach and shitloads of starfish. One bloke on the beach that we see. And he's bending down, picking starfish up, you know, just one at a time. Flinging them back in the ocean, you know? And so our guy's walking along doing that one at a time, flinging the starfish in, and somebody says to him, "The fuck are you doing, man? Like, look at this beach. Look at all these starfish. You can't possibly make a difference." And the dude bends down and says, "Made a difference to that one." And like, it's a fable about you got to do the right thing and help society or people or help in general, even if it seems like the battle's lost, even if it seems like help, you know, isn't coming. You got to be the help that's there. And it you know, more people will pick up more starfish when they see you picking up the starfish and saying shit like "made a difference to that one," you know what I mean? And the point of me telling this story, or the metaphor or whatever, is like every single student in New South Wales, in my home state, is now a starfish being flung back into the beach by my mum, or into the waves, you know, from the beach. She's flinging, like she's got a fucking semi-automatic starfish gun now. She's so high up in the education system. But she's like she's no longer feeling the starfish in her hands, if that makes sense. Like it's she's a fucking excavator operator who's like getting a whole bunch of starfish, making a whole bunch of change, but maybe the starfish don't see her anymore, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? So it's a whole mood. JJ, you're starting to annoy me, dude. Keep your arm in that thing and lean back. Don't. I said lean back and put your arm back in the thing, so you immediately pulled your arm out. That's not cool, man. Not cool. Lean back and stop. That is enough, all right? I'm busy on a stream. You can't be doing this sort of shit while I'm streaming. You know you can't, all right? No, that's not okay, dude. Lean back. That's enough. I'll take you straight home, bro. I will take you straight home. We're out here having a fun time. What's going on? What have you dropped? Is this what you want? There we go. I'm sorry for getting cranky at you. You just got to get your words, bro. Tell me you dropped something. I don't speak. Yeah. 3.5 now, mate. You got to get some words for me, okay? Anyway, as I was saying, my mum's a big deal. My mum has affected the education system and continues to affect the education system here in my home state in an incredibly positive way. And so, regardless of gun laws or like mental health, and I do think mental health is worse in America than it is in Australia, which is just, you know, a symptom of there being 400 and something million people there as opposed to 20 million in the same space. Which is another thing. The common thing that Americans don't realise is that Australia and America are roughly the same size geographically, but there's fuck all people in ours because most of it's desert. Like if you imagine, like we could live there. We absolutely could and should. A smart and brave politician would set up a solar energy farm in the outback, like a state-sized fucking solar energy farm, and we could become the fucking Saudi Arabia of the new world, you know what I mean? Like renewable energy tycoons. We're the only country in the world with the ability to do that. But it would cost us, you know, several $1 billion to start, and so there's no politician brave enough, but there will be at some point, and if there isn't within the next 10 years or so, fucking vote for me and I'll do it. If you come along for the ride, we'll do it ourselves. Don't wait for anybody else, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, like fucking going tangent after tangent after tangent here, aren't I? But no, the mental health is worse in America, and so that exacerbates the gun problem, you know? Like, there wouldn't be a gun problem if you didn't have these fucking whack jobs that, like, get to the point of fucking breaking. And there are whack jobs that get to the point of breaking everywhere. I'm not suggesting that America is unique in that sense, but the tools that are available to whack jobs in America are excessive, in my opinion. So it's like, it's a balance, you know what I mean? But coming back a tangent, I do think that mental health is better in Australia than in America, and that has nothing to do with guns. But like, it's truly a separate conversation. It's truly there are so many different factors into poor mental health, both in Australia and in America, that guns are an irrelevant part of that discussion. The only time guns become relevant in that discussion are when fucking crazy fucks go and kill people with them. And the same crazy fuck wouldn't have been able to do that. Exactly the same situation, exactly the same parameters, like all the same societal effects and whatnot. The fucking, what was her name? I don't fucking know. The loopy fucking mental cunt that shot up the school recently in Uvalde or whatever. And they started calling it a guy, and then they were calling it a girl. It's like, you know, you can kill a bunch of school children, but we'll make sure to get your gender right. Like, fucking what? Anyway, that's another discussion too. But that cunt was like certifiably crazy. Would be in an asylum if it was 1940. And in Australia, they might have stabbed someone. They might have stabbed a couple of people before a man got in there and like fucking knocked the cunt out. And in America, they were able to shoot, you know, tiny school children. So that's a shit go. But as I was saying, I think Australia is a little bit more chill, a little bit better on the, not better, because it's like, it's not a competition, you know, but there's fucking way more wide open spaces here, way more water, access to water, like the riverways in Australia. We have a lot more fucking rivers and, what do you want to call them, inlets and fucking billabongs, which I think Americans call oxbow lakes. Billabongs are a little bit smaller, but it's the same geological phenomenon. But anyway, like, it's a whole thing. I think that, I mean, it's also the fact that we have those social safety nets, so it's easier to get your help you need before, like, you become catastrophic to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you are able to go to the doctor and say, hey, I'm going fucking crazy, man. Like, if you have the tenacity to do that, and you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to have a job to do that with insurance, like, and then you get healthcare. You get mental health care. And so, but I don't think that's what it is. And that's what I keep going in circles. I keep going in loops. Like, it's not the social safety net that makes Australian mental health better. It's the social safety net that prevents it from being worse. But that's not the same thing. And so, it's, you know, like, I think don't quote me because I'm not on any of those websites at the moment or looking or anything, but I'm fairly certain that the quality of life in Australia is significantly better than that in America. And I mean, it's not fair for me to compare the two countries because I am from a middle class, probably upper middle class if you factor in my mum now. Like, she wasn't that big a deal when I was growing up, you know, like she was a single mum putting herself through uni, then she was a casual teacher, and then when we finished school she started buckling down serious on her career and fucking nailed it and stuff. But like, we come from a modest working class background, but her success and her brilliance has well and truly vaulted us out of what, you know, your traditional people would call a working class. We're definitely middle class in that sense. And the middle class is much bigger here in Australia than it is in America. Like on a per fucking percentage basis, you know, like I said, 23 million people versus 380 million people or something, you know, like it's on a numbers basis, obviously the American middle class is bigger, but on a percentage of the actual population, the American middle class is shrinking and the Australian middle class is increasing. And so it's just not fair for me to compare. What are you doing, man? Same spot every time. What are you doing? Put your arm in the thing. That's enough. Take this. Take this. Hey, twist your body. There we go. You put this back on your dude. What the hell? Come on, guys. We can make it a full lap without you being a pain in the ass. I promise. Where was I? Long story short, it's not fair of me to compare my experience in America and my experience in Australia, because I am in a developing town that is semi-rural, used to be rural, is now getting built up because we're on a train line. Like, we have a train station and that train line directly connects to the airport. Like, anyone who's unhappy about this semi-rural area being developed doesn't understand the fucking long-term goals of Australia, or the long-term needs of Australia. We need at least 100 million more people if we're going to be global players. And we need to be global players if we're going to maintain our quality of life, because shit's changing. Whether you believe in man-made climate change or not, the fucking forces of that movement are well in play, and Australia will have to adapt. Whether we are the voice of the Western world, we are the Western world in the Pacific and Asia. Like, if you look at us geographically, we serve America's best interests in the South China Sea and in the fucking Asian area. America would be fucked without us from a military standpoint. They'd have nowhere to refuel their ships. They'd have nowhere to keep their ships that weren't in use. Australia is an American military base. And if we want to stay, watch your arm, buddy, shit. Yeah, I bet that hurt. You're alright. That's why we keep our hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. The relationship between America and Australia is super important for Australia. And there's an element of, Australia's only able to have such a decent quality of life because of the American military and the American military's actions in the Pacific and the Asian fucking area of the world, you know what I mean? Because we, as a country of 22 million people or 23 million people, could not defend ourselves against China if they decided this is what they wanted. If they want it, get your hands off him. Get your hands off him. Get your hands off him. Stop it. Stop. He is your brother. He is your little brother. That's not nice at all. Hey. You're okay. You're okay. There you go. Hey, you're just crying because he's crying now, and I know that. Stop it. Stop. Nope, that's enough. We're still moving, that's enough. Get your hand out of his face. Sorry about that. Yeah, Australia would not be able to defend itself against China. Boys, that's enough. Stop. Stop, man. All right, we're going home. That's it. That's it. We're going home. No more laps. No more laps. Shush. No more tears. No, buddy. Hey. That's enough. JJ, you have to stop. Hey, whoa. Whoa, dude. Hey, JJ, that's enough. JJ. Oh, buddy. Why are you so upset right now? Stop. One of you has to stop so the other one can too. You're both just crying at each other now. Stop. One of you has to stop so the other one does. Don't make another noise. Stop. One of you has to stop so the other one does now. That's enough. No more. That's enough. No more big squeals. No more squeals like that, please. No more. Thankfully, all is good. I don't know how much of my meltdown you heard. Ugh. But we're here now. I have reception again, and we're headed home from the Tamil Sporting Complex. Point I was trying to make, I think, is that America and Australia's relationship is too important for Australia. It's very important for Australia, and it's very important for America. You guys can still see me and hear me, right? I see that some of you are still in there. But I'll read comments in a second. Oh, there's a horse right there. That's cool. We're going to cross the street and you guys can have a look at the horse. Long story short, Australia and America, very similar, very different though. I am very happy here in Australia and we have a much better quality of life here. But there's an element of, we're enjoying this better quality of life because of the sacrifices the American taxpayer makes to have their big dick military constantly protecting us. You know what I mean? And so we're able to have all this cool shit because the American taxpayer has fuck all. But that's just an opinion I have. I don't know if it's anything close to fact. No cars coming. Oh, there is a car coming. I'm going to read some comments in just a second and try and remember where I was up to. Sorry that we went off on that little tangent there. Bear with me. I'm going to cross the road so the boys can see this horse. Because they've never seen a horse close up before. And I think that would be cool. Reception keeps dripping in and out, but we'll end the stream in a sec. But this is cool. What's that, guys? It's a horse, isn't it? Maybe tomorrow we'll bring some carrots or something. It's right there, don't start screaming. He's a big guy. I think it's a girl though, because we'd see its dick if it was a guy, right? Right. Yeah, it's a horsey. Two beautiful horses eating the grass. That's so cool, isn't it, bud? I don't know what the etiquette is with random horses on the street, you know what I mean? Like, am I allowed to pat it if it comes up here? What are the chances, like, am I standing too close to it? What are the chances it can fuck us up? I don't know, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'll let the kids have a look at that until they have a whinge again, and then I'll read some comments. Bear with me. Oh yeah, yeah, that sucks. I live 5 hours east of Buffalo in the sticks. That's probably a really beautiful part of the world, though. Education system is way better in Australia. I agree. My mum helps make it. Don't know that much about the US system, but we certainly don't have parents banning books or have shooters. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we do have book bans in Australia. There are certain books that you're not allowed to, for example. You can't have a Bible in a public school. Like it's an opt-in. You can. Sorry, but it's an opt-in service, not an opt-out one, because it's a public service, and so the public is non-denominational or whatever that word is. So like we do have book bans. It's just different books. All right, let's go. We're good. We're not going to fire up. We're good. We're moving. All right. We saw the horse and it was good. It's just different books and less controversial. Most people in Australia, they go, oh, why is that book getting banned? Oh, because they viscerally explain the shape of a penis and vagina during sex scenes. And Australians go, oh yeah, probably makes sense not to have that in our elementary school fucking library then, doesn't it? That does make sense. Whereas in America, it's like, is this pornographic? Is there porn in our school? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, no, people are more heated in America. I feel like Australians in general are a bit more, what's the word? Lackadaisical? I don't know, just fucking leave you be, bro. Like, and that's the thing, actually. I had a little mini confrontation, but not really confrontation, but there's a fucking, I don't know if they're Jehovah's or fucking Mormons or like Latter-day Saints. That's the same thing as Mormon, isn't it? I don't fucking know. One of the fucking preachy, knock on your door, bullshit, fucking annoying cunts. That, like, you know, practice whatever you want to practice. Have whatever religion you want to have. Like, don't go walking down the street, knocking on everyone's house, telling them about it. Like, we all have the internet. We don't need you. Anyway, if I want to know about God, I'll find out about God. Like, get off my fucking porch. But I was like literally walking to the park this morning. 3 of them, like fucking, I'm proving Mormons or Latter-day Saints or whatever, because they were fobs in fucking black tie, like white. They look like waiters. Pacific Islanders. Like, fob is an affectionate term in Australia. Sorry if that sounded racist. Like, my fob mates would refer to themselves as fobs. Like, it's not an offensive term here. It's a term of endearment. But I appreciate it probably sounded racist. But yeah, 3 Islander blokes, fresh off the boat. And like big Islander guys. And they, in their fucking, you know, garb, looking like waiters, white fucking black pants, white shirt with their black tie. One of them tried to stop me with the boys to have a chat. I'm like, not interested, mate. He's like, oh, you don't even know what I want to talk about. I'm not selling anything. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you are, bro. Like, you're selling your God, are you not? But yeah, it's a thing, and that was just about here on the way up to the park. Anyway, let me read some comments. Yeah, they're banning, no parents banning books or having shooters. Yeah, the shooters is definitely a difference. Absolutely. But, yeah, it's just a much more low-key discussion in Australia, the book banning thing, and it's at a higher level. It's not parents, it's fucking uppity teachers that think they know better, you know? Of which my mum is one. She doesn't ban books. She is definitely an uppity teacher that thinks she knows better, because she's a fucking person that knows better, that happens to be a teacher and is in the period of her life where she's sicky as shit. So she comes across as uppity. But anyway, let's move on to the next. I will say, as a gun owner, I get it, but only time I use mine is at a gun range or to hunt. Well, yeah, but if you had a kid that, you know, thought they were fucking something they weren't or whatever, like if you had a gender dysphoric kid or a bipolar kid or a fucking, just some kind of fucking weird brain kid. And again, if that's offensive, I'm bipolar, so fuck yourself. I'll do it. It's like my version of the N-word. I can say crazy if I want to say crazy, because I'm crazy. But you have a kid like that, and as a responsible gun owner, you're doing all the right things, that kid might still go and kill a bunch of his classmates with your gun. And thankfully at the moment in America, I think thankfully, my opinion is it's a good thing. But obviously this is another one of those social things where it might be different, like might be different on a case-by-case basis. But parents are starting to get on the hook for it. You know, like there's that kid that said he was going to shoot up his school and was drawing pictures of it and had this meeting with his parents in the school while he had his dad's gun in his backpack. And they said, like, leave the school, take him with you. And the parents were like, nah, he can stay at school. And then he went and did the fucking mass shooting. Like, the mum and dad have just been charged for that, for being criminally negligent, which I think is a really good step. If you're not going to take the guns away, you need to ascertain who's responsible. And, you know, sure, minors are responsible in some sense, but I think it's, you know, as a parent, I think it's on the parents as well, you know what I mean? And so there are multiple factors that come to it. And I got nothing against people that like guns, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to denigrate anyone that likes guns or anything like that. And for people who like guns, denigrate means put down. I guess, obviously. I'm not gonna, people like what they like. And I'm not in the business of stopping people from liking stuff. You know what I mean? Positivity involves being positive about stuff that you're not necessarily interested in, you know? And so, like, and there are a great number of things that make guns fun and that you need guns for, and that they're not inherently, well, they are inherently designed to kill people, like warfare and all that, but, oh, hello, one of the Comancheros just rode past in his colours and everything. I wonder what he's doing in his colours today. That's fucking interesting. Wonder what they're up to. It's a crime to ride in your colours. So he's obviously sending a message to someone that lives in the area. Oh, that's got me feeling some type of way. That's fucking gnarly. But yeah, that's, again, freedom laws and all that sort of stuff. Like, you can get fucking arrested for riding your bike in the wrong clothing here. Whereas in Australia, I mean in America, that would be like the person, not only the cop would lose their job, the city would get sued millions of dollars. The biker would never have to fucking work again if he got arrested for wearing his club's colours in America. But yeah, like, there's all sorts of fucking laws, mostly in Queensland, but spreading throughout the rest of Australia as well. You can't even hang out with certain people, you know. If someone's been done as a bikie, and there are more than 2 people that have been done as bikies, as in, like, you know, Sons of Anarchy style fucking outlaw gangs on bikes. If you're literally in public with 2 people in Queensland that have been arrested for under bikie laws, you'll get arrested under association. Like, what kind of backwards fucked up shit is that? I didn't even do anything. I was hanging out with my school friends, my friends I grew up with. So what, you've arrested them previously? I didn't do anything just because I know them. Like, it's fucking, oh man. Don't even get me started on the bikie laws. But, what was I talking about before the Comanchero rode past? Fuck, that was intense. Like, it wasn't intense, it was just a dude riding his bike. But if you know what you're looking for, like, why is he doing it on fucking at 10 past 11 on a Tuesday? Like, that makes no sense. Anyway, where were we? As a gun owner, yeah. So yeah, gun owners, like, there's just so many different things that are out of your control that I go, it's not worth the risk for me. And as an Australian, I think that the gun laws, like, it makes sense to just not have that be a thing, because there's so many things that could go wrong for well-meaning people and whatnot. But I understand I'm inconsistent with that, and I, you know, like with the bikie laws and stuff, like, I often point out that we go a bit hard with stuff. So I'm sure the answer's somewhere in the middle, but I lean pretty far to the left on it. There you go. But yeah, it's a thing. Let me read more. Same with my son. He had several guns, but he had strict regulations about storage and its use. He used the dust on my screen. He used them on the farm for feral animal control and sport shooting. They had to be kept in a lock. Yeah, exactly. Classic kid not to do it anyways. Say not to, but do it anyway. Yeah, locked storage and could not carry them off the property without permission. Yeah, grab that leaf, bud, while I read this comment in the shade. If I was in Australia, I'd be going to watch motocross and dirt track racing every chance I got. Yeah, there's shitloads of that. Like, literally, I should have shown you up there as well. There's a track, a BMX track that a dude had his dirt bike on the other day. It's fucking sick. Absolutely sick. Squid. That's an interesting observation that the American middle class is proportionally bigger. Smaller, I mean. America is Australia's defence sheriff. Sibling rival. Yeah, okay, cool. There we go. Alright, good. We're back. We also spend money on buying American arms. Yep. I'm working class, but working class here is basically getting shoved down to lower class. See, that's the thing, like, working class, like, the American working class is almost outsourced, I think. Like, in the traditional sense of working class, like Karl Marx meant it, absolutely, it has long since been outsourced to Japan and Bangladesh or whatever, you know, like the factories that make the fucking material, the textiles, and the factories that, like, manufacture things and whatnot. Like, it's almost like Australia and America don't have working classes anymore, and it's just like there's this new fucking shitty middle class. Because, like, you know, the fucking, when we first started talking about classes and classism and fucking all that sort of stuff, there wasn't the ability to outsource your manufacturing to a third world country where a 6-year-old would put your shoe together, you know what I mean? Or fucking, etc., etc. They made it impossible to seize the means of production because they moved the means of production to the other side of the planet and took advantage of people over there instead of here. So there's an element of that for me, but like words, definitions, shifting, blah, blah, blah. What we mean when we say the working class are the people that work, 5-6 days a week just to get by, to pay for what they've got, pay for the house that they live in and the car that they need to get to the job that they're doing, to pay for everything else, like the fucking working class as we know it is different now than as they knew it, I think. But where are we at? And working class here is basic. Yeah, exactly. It's shoved down to lower class. Like the society is not set up in America for unskilled labour either. You know what I mean? And there's no such thing as unskilled labour. I fucking hate that term. You know what I mean? Like I worked as a removalist or a mover or whatever you want to call it, which is like peak unskilled labour. It's just picking stuff up and putting it back down again. Feasibly anyone can do it, but it's fucking like there's cunts that have been doing it for 2, 3, 4 years are way better than anyone else, and there's techniques to it, and there's all sorts of stuff there's no such thing. And I reckon it took several years off my life, it was back-breaking work, and like there are bits of me that have not recovered yet and will likely never recover from injuries and all that sort of stuff as well. And so it's the term unskilled labour as well. It's all linked and it's all interesting to me, but it's hard to line up my thoughts on it. You know what I mean? I'm going to read more comments, but Australians are definitely more laid back. Yeah, there's that too. Like there's an element of she'll be right, mate. But then the reason for that, what's the reason? Why are we more laid back? Why are we more she'll be right? Because it always is and it always has been. And why is that? Because the big dick American military's got our back in every significant fucking war that we've ever been in. And, since the Second World War, when Curtin realised Churchill didn't give a fuck about us, and so then he went over to, what was his name, Eisenhower or something, during the Second World War? Or was it Truman? I don't fucking know. John Curtin sucked the dick of the American president, basically, and said, hey, our biggest ally is England. We're a little baby country, population-wise, in a very militarily advantageous position in the Pacific. Churchill's going to abandon us because he's getting fucked in the ass himself so hard. But, if we win and if we create the world we want to, you want us here, you don't want Japan here. And so America came and saved our ass. And that's what happened. That's, when the Japanese attacked Darwin, it was American fucking aircraft carriers that came and saved the day. It wasn't England, it wasn't anyone else, it was America. And so we gave them Pine Gap as a thank you, and they've been fucking using it ever since. And so I don't even know the point I was making. But Australia is more important to America than America is. Sometimes, it feels like. From a military standpoint, Australia is pivotal to American-Chinese conflict and the success of America in an American-Chinese conflict. Australia is, if there was a word that was more serious than pivotal, it would be that, there's nowhere else for the Americans in this region of the world. And yeah, as a result, we get a lot of, what's the word? On a diplomatic level, Australia is treated like a big player when we're not. We have 24 million people in our country. We're basically a Pacific island. You know what I mean? We are not a large country, but we act like we are in places like the UN and on NATO and fucking all that sort of shit. in global discussions, we act like we're a much bigger player than we are. And the reason we can do that, and the reason no one says, shut the fuck up, Australia, other than Russia, is because we are the testicles of America's big dick in the South China Sea. And so, in order to keep that position, and in order to maintain that position, we need about 100 million more people in the next 15 to 20 years. And the only way that happens is through immigration. And so, that's a big thing as well, like that people don't like to admit or don't want to admit, is that Australia's going to need to get significantly browner if we want to stop ourselves from being significantly yellower, if you know what I mean. Like, we need more immigrants. We need a significant amount of, I think, Indians, personally. Get a whole bunch of their fucking shitty casts and bring them out here, show them what a good fucking life they could live, get them contributing, and they would. And it'd be fucking great, you know what I mean? And like the dangalanga, like I love that cultural sort of shit, like we'd have a fun time, India and Australia. But then, then you have a conversation about the fucking resources that we would then inevitably end up selling to India instead of China, and then that creates a proxy war as well, and it's all just fucking bad. But my mouth is getting super dry, so I'm going to keep reading comments, but I'm probably going to wrap this stream up soon. Did I mention it's my 33rd birthday today? If you are in the stream and you haven't hit the like button yet, wish me happy birthday by hitting that like button for me. Really helps with the algorithm and all that sort of jazz. Share me with a friend, go watch my shorts or my videos or something after this. Consider joining the channel, or the Patreon or whatever like that. I like money. Putting some of your money into mine on a monthly basis would be ideal. But yeah, let me look at the comments. I think Aussies are too passive about some issues. They should be more concerned about government regulations introduced as an excuse to fight terrorism. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. I think that's a solid take. I think that... sorry, mate. Thank you very much. I think that people who would trade... What's that saying? People who trade their freedom for their security deserve neither, or something. I think that was a Lincoln quote, maybe. I don't know, I could be quoting the wrong American. But it's definitely an American quote. But it's definitely a thing. You're right. There's a very lazy approach to what we allow our own government to do to us here, without a doubt. It's based on wealth and education, not birth. Where are we? Australia's a class-structured society, like greater freedom of mobility. Yeah, you nailed that, Ian. I've just walked into the grocery store, so if we drop out reception-wise, you know why. And it was lovely chatting with you guys, but I'll keep chatting with you. I'm just getting a drink. So, there we go. But, that's fucking warm. That fridge is not on. Yeah, we're moving, bud. We're moving. Don't worry. We'll find a fridge that's on. Give me a sec. You're all good, man. I've got a kid with a mullet just ran right out in front of the stroller and everything. But I didn't. All is well. Nothing in there. You know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to go home. We're not that far from home. I'll grab this on my way out again. Let's go this way. Sorry, Doc. You'll see when we get home how close I am to the grocery store, so it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go. Lowest person in the room. I didn't want to get stuck behind a fucking slow walker. Anyway, speaking of, we are not following that guy. What was I saying there? Comments. I think Australians are too passive about some issues. Yeah, that was what I was saying. I agree with you. I think there are a great number of things where we go, oh yeah, that's fine. Like the fact that Scott Morrison's not in prison for that little stunt he pulled with all the fucking portfolios, suddenly became the most powerful person the country's ever seen, like ever, for any reason during COVID. Oh, I'm going to sign myself into all of the portfolio, like, and so should the Governor General. Neither of them should have been able to do that. And the fact that they worked together to make it happen, unbeknownst to the rest of the 24 million people in the country, is a level of seditious conspiracy that should be a prisonable offence, in my opinion. And I'd say the same about Albo if he did it. I don't give a fuck what side of politics you're on. Like, that's not my game. That's not my game. I'm not saying that shit just because he's an uppercase L liberal, you know what I mean? Like, but that sort of shit is like hostile takeover stuff, you know? Like, that sort of shit is, that's a coup d'etat. Like, bypassing cabinet, bro. Like, anyway, cunt should be in prison. But no one gives a fuck because he got voted out, so what does it matter? We'll just let his friends all sit on the shadow bench. Keep your hat on, buddy. Hey, let me brake. Thank you. I'll take that. I'll do the buttons back up. Apollo, don't slap your brother, buddy. I'm putting his hat on. Move your hand. Thank you. We're nearly home, alright? And then you guys can be chaotic there. Where are we? Yeah, absolutely you can steal it. Absolutely you can steal it. Because we are. We're the testicles of the American military in Australia. I mean, in the Southeast Asia. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just need us here. Like, if there's a word that was meant more than need, you know what I mean? Like, that is what it would be. We're not just pivotal, we're vital to their military endeavours in this part of the world, or in this half of the world, you know what I mean? And Pine Gap, especially, the shit that Pine Gap does, like, that's their main military base. That's where they operate all their fucking satellites from. Because if it was, you know, to be bombed by a military fucking adversary, you know, if Russia were to go, all right, where's the command center for all their fucking satellites, all of their fucking whatevers, like, how many Americans can we kill in the process? The answer would be zero, basically. Like, not zero, there's a whole bunch of Americans working on the Pine Gap facility, at the Pine Gap facility, but it's like, that's why it's in the middle of the outback in Australia, is because, alright, attack it if you want, but, like, you're gonna have to fucking do your, like, there's no way you're gonna get there without us seeing you, for one. Like, there's no way anyone could get anywhere near Pine Gap to attack it without being seen, because it's the middle of the outback. And even if they were to attack it and blow the whole fucking thing up and blow up the closest town, they're just killing a bunch of Australians. What does that matter, you know, to the Americans? So it's a really long-winded story that goes well and well back, you know what I mean? Like, and so the history of, don't do that. The history of America and Australia is not done yet, basically. But the long story short of what I was saying was, I think it's a much better place to live in Australia, with much more available, you know, what do you say, upward mobility. There's lots of social mobility in Australia, and everyone's far more relaxed, and it's a far more relaxing lifestyle. But there's a very big part of me that, like, feels like you can't say that without mentioning the fact that it's because of America's big dick military that we're afforded all of those things. You know what I mean? Like, if it weren't for America, we'd probably be speaking Japanese. If it weren't for America, like, that's hyperbole, we wouldn't be speaking Japanese, but there'd be a fucking shitload of us less that were killed, and the war front would have fucking drifted south. but America just nipped it in the bud, you know? And so, and then forever since then, you know, there's the Iraq War, I mean, there's the Vietnam War, there's fucking all sorts of wars that America have gone fucking into, that Australia has just gone into as well because of the agreement we had with them. And I'm rambling now, I've run out of steam. But this was a good live stream. I'll change the thumbnail and the title later when I'm done and whatnot. If you are watching in the backlog, I appreciate you. Here you go, bud. Keep your hat on your head, please. Thank you. Yes, as I said, I appreciate you. If you're watching this in the backlog and you're still here, holy shit, man. Hit a like, write rhubarb in the comments section. And yeah, as I said, I'll be making more shorts later, uploading more stuff later. We've just hit an hour on the live stream, so I'm happy with that. Gonna go charge my phone. Thanks to Ian, thanks to Odin's Child, thanks to Rachel Nell, thanks to all sorts of people. Whoever engaged, thank you, and whatnot. I'm gonna get this fucking sweat out of my eyeballs. Get these boys in an air conditioner. Well, not in an air conditioner, but in an air-conditioned room. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks so much for watching. How do I end this fucking stream now? There it is. Done. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, please. Thank you. Good night.